Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It is I, the Southern Gooner, and if you hear my voice, yep, it's a rough one, boy. Came down with a cold yesterday, and I am not feeling the best. But we're going to make this work. We are going to make this work any way possible. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. Like I said, y'all bear with me today. We're going to get through this thing, and we're going to talk about the invisible man, Viktor Gyökeres. But to get to Viktor Gyökeres, you've got to go through what I call the muck and the mire. You've got to start from the scene of the crime. You know how we do it here. We start from the scene of the crime. So we're going to go back to this past weekend. Appreciate that, brother. Wahaha. Appreciate that, brother. We're going to go back to the scene of the crime. And let's go to that. We got a lot of ground to cover this morning. Here we go. Right out of the gate. The manager. Let's start with the manager. Arteta plots Arsenal reset after Wolves escape amid new injury woes. Well, we're back at that again. We're back to the Walking Dead. Shout out to Sean here who wrote this article. He says Mikel wants Arsenal to hit the reset button after their lucky escape. That's the new keyword. Lucky escape against Wolves. Arsenal needed a 49th minute own goal to beat Wolves 2-1 on a dramatic night in the Emirates Stadium on Saturday. We're going to skip down just a little bit. So there's escape with a crucial victory to move 5 points clear at the top. And of course, that's changed since then. And then let's go down here. This is where we want to get into the meat and potatoes of this. Look here in the quotes. Right here. What we have to do now is reset. Give them 2 days that they can decompress a little bit. And then we have a long week that we can prepare. When we don't train, there are things that slowly deteriorate as certain habits start to deteriorate because you don't train them and use the opportunity to do so. Give it with everybody a boost. I guess he's trying to put, we'll give everybody a boost because we know that the Christmas period is often seen as season defining and we don't want to be on top of it. Also, Arteta also revealed the big lesson that Arsenal could take away from the game. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy game at all, but we made it harder. And with that, in the manner that we conceded the goal, that's unacceptable. Learn from it, and then we move on. Every time you win in the Premier League, you should be happy. You should be conscious of the difficulty of it, but we made it even harder for ourselves today, and that is the big lesson that we have to do. When the opponent merits something, that's fine, and they did a lot to make things difficult for us. But that's one of the things that I don't know. We should make sure we improve. Seems like to me we're repeating the same problems that we've seen in the last 4 or 5 games here. You go back to Sunderland. You go back to Aston Villa. You go to Chelsea. Most of these were all second half goals that caused chaos by the other team. Then we get to this past weekend's game where they scored 2 own goals and a goal themselves. 3 goals they scored. And the manager's saying that we need a couple of days off so that we can train. No, some of these players need a day off so that they can survive. Anyone see Declan Rice this weekend? Did anyone see the brother Declan Rice hanging on for dear life this past weekend? You look at this team right now, and we're seeing symptoms of what we've seen the same time last season, and they're starting to show up again. Same exact problems that we've seen last year. Same exact problems. And then let's see here. Let's go down a little further. See if I don't know if he went any further. Nah, that's it. I think as far as he went, this gentleman went on this article. But he said they're going to reset. They're going to start over. Hit the reset button. Well, you have to ask yourself. So the manager said he's going to hit the reset button. You have to ask yourself, well, where is he going to hit the reset button at? Because this season, let's go to this. Let's go to the next page here. Because the manager said they need to reset, but it looks like we're running the same thing over and over and over again. 4, 3, 3. It's no coincidence that Wolves pull up to the game, and I'm going to show you. Just we're going to highlight it together. You just bear with me. We're going to go back and forth here. This is even better. He plays 4-3-3. And what did Wolves show up with? 3-5-2. How many times have I sat on panel shows? And for those joining, y'all bear with me here because I'm not feeling the best, but we're gonna make it through it. How many times have I sat on panels in the last 2 weeks and I have said we play 4-3-3 and teams are coming with extra 2 to 3 players in midfield, and they're giving us trouble late in games when they decide to go for it because they have an extra man in midfield. You know what's crazy about this whole situation, ladies and gentlemen? This manager showed up to the game with 2 defensive midfielders in midfield at home to Wolves and allowed an extra man to roam free and have the spoils of the Emirates. The manager's repeating the same problem. He's become predictable, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. They're also putting up, if people are watching this, looking closely, you're starting to see that teams are playing with 2 strikers against us. 2 strikers. So you got an extra man in midfield, and now you've got 2 strikers. Why do you have 2 strikers? Because that makes it harder for the defense to just zero in on one person. And so you leave yourself susceptible. And this is why we're having problems late in games. This is why we've got the Keystone Cops. This is why we've got chips. This is why we've got Tiny Toons at the back during the middle of the game. And then towards the end of the game, it's out of control. It's out of control. We end up conceding just every single time. Every time. Just look at these stats. 2 shots on goal. 16 shot attempts, 2 shots on goal. Shout out to Shane for the raid, brother. 8 corner kicks. 1 save. Arsenal had 69% of the ball. 2 on goal. 2 own goals. This is not sustainable. This is not sustainable going into the Christmas fixtures. This is not sustainable going into the Christmas fixtures. I'll say it again. This is not sustainable going into the Christmas period. 2 points. Wolves pull up to the Emirates with 1 + 1 = 2. That's it. That's all we had. That's all we had. All they had. Excuse me. And we show up with big bad billions, and we saw the performance that we gave up. We saw the performance that they gave up. And Gaston is 100% correct. We don't play with pace and unpredictable. We are slow and lethargic. We play like old men. You play like old men on a mid Sunday afternoon out at the park, especially for us in over 30, over 40. We play like old men, and we get paid. We pay the price for it every time. We're playing teams, and if you don't think you think I'm playing with y'all, we're playing teams where we show up. Well, when we show up, let me go back here. Let me find it again. Let me go back to Arsenal here. And when we play teams, we'll use Aston Villa. If I got the stats here, if they show it up. Here we go. Well, they're showing up and they're putting an extra man in midfield. And when they attack, they add an extra man up top. Oh, let's go back again. Let's go back. Let's go back some more. Let's go look. Let's just go. We're gonna go with it together, everybody. We're gonna do it all together. Remember, I told you all early this week on yesterday, actually, day before yesterday, they started running together on leaves. I said that let me pause this here. Just call that over there. That when we played Bruges, they had opportunities but couldn't score. They had opportunities. I want people to understand something. I want people to understand something. Every team that has an attacking option has a chance to win against Arsenal this year. With Saliba and Gabby Magalhaes on the pitch, or either with them off. It doesn't matter. Every team has an opportunity. Shout out to Jez, buddy. How you doing this morning? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing well. Outstanding job last night, by the way. Outstanding job last night. We thoroughly enjoyed watching that last night. Outstanding job last night. But when we're playing these teams are having opportunities. They're there. This is why during the broadcast, you kept hearing me when I was on with Lee doing the watch along, you kept hearing me say they're going to have an opportunity to score here because this is a pattern that we've developed. This is a frailty. This is a weakness that I've seen over and over and over and over, especially against teams that have really absolutely nothing to play for, or teams that are just, they're fighting for their life. We don't know how to recognize the warning signs and make adjustments. And I told you all earlier when we started talking about this, that this manager, he does not know how to change his stripes. In 2025, this season, so far, out of all the games we played in all competitions, not just Premier League, all competitions, he's played 4-3-3 17 times. Now, if I'm sitting here with you all right now on this Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'm looking at this and I'm going, oh, he's going to play 4-3-3, so we know what to do. So if he's doing it here, then what do you think that the masses are seeing? Hey Gaston, we're gonna come to that later on, y'all. We got it. Don't worry. We got clips for days today. Don't worry. We got clips for days today. Look, look at this here now. Watch this. Watch this. We're gonna go to 2024. 4-3-3, 48 times. 48 times. He keeps doing it over and over and over. He went 4-4-2. Oh, what's this here? 8 times last year? But I was told that we can't play with 2 strikers up top. Look at that midfield. Partey, Marino. This was in the last game, so I must have been somewhere towards the end here. So I don't see. I don't think I see Rice in the team. But for him to do this, it requires sacrifice. And ladies and gentlemen, who would he have to leave out of the team to sacrifice to do something like this? See, this is the problem. You ever seen a child? You ever watched a child when they have a puzzle? That's 100% correct, unknown. 100% correct. 100% correct. You ever seen a child when they have when you give them a puzzle and you open the puzzle up and you dump all the pieces down? They're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. And so when the manager looks at all the players that we have, he looks around, he's overwhelmed. He doesn't know what to do. This is why he wanted to keep the squad small last season. It was easier for him to go, oh, I can go, point here, point there, point, Now that he's got a squad that's relatively sizable, he's looking and he doesn't know what to do. So this is why he keeps going back to this, because it's the easy way out. It's really easy. Don't require him to think too much. Don't require for sacrifice. Don't require to upset some players on the team. So when the manager goes and says that we need to plot a reset, and we go back to this, and we see it's the same thing. Stumbling and bumbling. Stumbling and bumbling his way through it. Watch this. Let's go to 23, y'all. Watch this. 4-3-3, 50 times. This is why I'm going back through this again. I'm going to keep doing this all year. 50 times. 52 games that we played, 50 times he went 4-3-3. That you know what, brother? You know what? 100%. 4-3-3 was used when we were attacking with attacking players. Look at what he's doing. He's playing 4-3-3 with defensive players. Defensive players, ladies and gentlemen. Defensive players. Defensive players. He's playing an attacking formation. And it not only is he doing it on a one-off, he's doing it every week. Every week. This is lunacy of the highest quality. I hate I can't yell today. I hate I can't yell like I normally do. This is absolutely asinine. That's a 10, that's 11. This is absolutely scandalous. 50 times he's played this formation. Then we go back to 22. This was the year. This was the great collapse. Oh, what do we have here? What do we have here? 30, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 11 times, 3-4-1-2, 4-4-2, 4-3-1-2. Oh, we'll try a few things. It's no coincidence that was the best season he had. Even though we bottled it, that still was the best season that he's had at the club. So when you go back and you see all of this, and then you look at what he's doing today, it show he's shell shocked. He's so scared. Well, I did all of that in 22, and we didn't win anything, and I feel like this is the safest way to go. I mean, look at that in retrospect. Look at that midfield right there, 4-3-3. We would never win anything with that midfield right there. We were never gonna win anything. When you look at it in retrospect, you see who's in there. You're like, no, no, no. We don't know why we thought about that. In 2021, this is another year he was experimenting. And this is what me and Norski had a discussion the other night. Shout out to Norski. We had a discussion the other night, and we were looking at this team, and we was talking about how will we, how could we set this team up, different ways with the players that's there now. And I said, Norski, I said, brother, I don't know. I don't even think we have enough in certain areas of the pitch. Because you start looking at it, you put Zubamendi there, that he's a liability. Mikel Marino's, he's a liability. Rice is there. But then if you pair Rice here, then Rice has a liability with him. And see, that's what we missed. Even though Thomas Partey did what he did and he's out of here, we all know how that story goes. But you don't have anybody on the side of him that has that kind of quality. I want y'all to see this. I'll bring that back in a second. But this is the problem right there on this right hand side, where Xhaka is on this map, and then you can't see my mouse, but if where Xhaka is, then you look at where El Nene is. Xhaka will probably be Rice, and then there's nobody else over there of Thomas's part of this quality. And see, that comes down to the manager. People are saying, well, Berta bought the groceries. Yeah, he did, but we all know that the manager wanted Zubamendi. And see, I kept saying when we sat on show, me, Shane, Norski, DJB, Lee, Northside, the Waffle Don, a lot of us, all of us this summer kept saying, well, we need quality that is equal to or better than Thomas Partey, who is going out of the door. And what were we constantly told? We were told we were bringing in Zubamendi, who was a line breaker, who played great defense, who did this, he did that. And then what do you see? Now you see, especially against this game against Wolves this past weekend, you see that he is not up to the standard. Not up to the standard. And so now what you're seeing is you're seeing that the manager is showing his frailty in putting together a squad and then putting that squad on the pitch and able to get a product. And he's been doing that for the last few years and struggling. But now when you bring in new players, the new players are doing the exact same thing that the old players were doing. So when you see that, you know that the players are not learning. And this is going to go deeper. We're going to dive deep into that too in a minute. Because this all ties into the Viktor Gyökeres discussion. All of it. The manager is learning on the job. He's learning on the job. Learning on the job. And in certain cases, he's not learning on the job. That's the scary part about it. Some of it, he just don't give a damn. I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced of it. The problem is that Arteta doesn't know how to build a team. He can buy good players all he wants. He can't fit them together. It's a puzzle. Arteta bought the pieces and doesn't know. See, exactly. 100%. 100% correct. The manager doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know. And so when you look at the striker situation, which we're getting ready to get into the meat and crust, we're getting ready to really dive into this. You look at the striker situation, you bring in, ball intents and purposes, a top flight striker, 97 goals in 102 games. And he's scuffling. And you say, well, what's the problem? And when I tell people, I say, well, the manager is not, they're not going to practice and they're not trying to find efficient ways to get him involved. People look at me sideways and they go, well, he's a strike. He should do this. He should do that. And I say, well, you got to have a game plan for him to get in. You got to have something for the striker to get involved in. So when you look at our striker, he's all over the place. And when he does score, he usually has to create it himself. More often than not, he normally has to create it himself, or he's taking a penalty kick, one of the two. And then you got people. It's time to go to the dossier. Said y'all bear with me here. Let me get a little water. I'm feeling good at all today, but we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. Let's go to the scene. Let's go to Exhibit A. Exhibit A. You've got Thomas. Let me make sure, because I had trouble last night. Y'all bear with me. I'm gonna do it one more time here. Let me just make sure I got it to where y'all can hear it. All right, y'all should be able to hear it now. Thomas, he decides he wants to go on one of his college, university discussions, and wants to talk about the striker. When in fact, this past summer, we know who he wants. We know who he wants. We know who he went on TalkSport. We played the clip here. We all saw it. He went on and he stated that there was no striker in world football better, and I'm paraphrasing, better than Šeško. Šeško. And then when the discussion of Gyökeres came up, he's talking about, can he do it? He's doing it basically in a farmers league. But don't you find it crazy when we signed players like Fabio Vieira from that same league, and Fabio Vieira was over here and everybody, oh yeah, he's great. This is great. This is da 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 da. See, for a lot of these people, when it's a player that they want, they'll defend them to high heaven. Or if it's somebody that the manager wants, they'll defend to high heaven. High heaven. But then when somebody comes in like Gyökeres, who's a proven winner, by the way, multiple trophies, he comes in, and then it's sideways. Oh, it's just a player. And see, I'm so glad I waited to today to do this, because I got a chance to peek in this morning. And I want you to watch this. We're going to break this down. We're going to go through this step by step. We're going to go through this, and we're going to analyze a few things, and it'll all start to make sense. Because The striker is only good enough as if you it's just like basically the car with no engine. If the striker doesn't, if there's no engine in the car, it ain't going nowhere. If you're not feeding the striker, he's not doing anything. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. Let's get into this.
We had an amazing second half of the 23-24 season, and he was absolutely critical to that. Then in 24-25, he was on record to have a 20-goal season before he got his injury. And I think maybe
he's talking about Jesus here now. And I want y'all to remember what he just said. He said Jesus was on track to score 20 goals. Did y'all hear that? We're talking Jesus now. It's either he's talking. Let's go back. Let me just for context. They like to throw it out for context. Let's go back a few paces, and we're going to ride this all the way up. Let's go. Ready?
I reflected on asking myself that question. I think it's the context. I think there's some context to that question as to why my patience and my kind of my if you got the fuse running towards its destination burning dry, why my fuse is shorter for Gyökeres than it is for Havertz is because,
excuse me,
obviously Havertz started out of position for me in midfield when he first joined Arsenal, even though he started at centre forward in the Community Shield, and he kind of started in midfield, and I wanted to see him play further up because I thought that was his better role. Eventually he did, and obviously once he had played further up the field, we had an amazing second half of the 23-24 season, and he was absolutely critical to that. Then in 24-25, he was on record to have a 20-goal season before he got his injury.
There we go. I misunderstood there. I didn't know where I was at. This brother saying Havertz was on pace for a 20-goal season. Havertz. Yeah, I was quiet for the dramatic effect. Havertz. 20-goal season. If you got pencil and paper, if you're in front of your computer, pull up Notepad, put down what he just said right there. I want y'all, we're going to take notes and we're going to walk through all of this. If you got pencil and paper right there by you right now, put down Havertz on pace for 20 goals. Because that's what he just said. Tom Canton just sat there and said that Havertz last season, before his injury, was on pace for 20 goals last season. Do we have it notated? Does everybody, if you got it notated, put down a 1. Put a 1 in the chat if you wrote it down, because I want you to take notes and go with me as we go through this. Because that's what he said. With chest. Havertz on pace for 20 goals, barring his injury. Okay? Let's carry on.
And I think maybe that's why I've got like more of a patience for him. With Gyökeres, he's obviously been desperate to join Arsenal at a time where the centre forward striker signing has never had more pressure on it.
That's another lie. He said that Gyökeres is joining the team at a time when the striker position has never had as much pressure as it had. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been calling for a striker since 2022, since Aubameyang left his football club. We've been calling for an out-and-out striker since we let one walk out the club for free. Regardless of what happened with Ivan Toney last couple of weeks ago, everyone knows we sat on these shows. We were saying bring in Ivan Toney. We sat in here. We sat on panel after panel after panel after panel after Monday meeting after Monday meeting after Monday meeting. Ivan Toney, Ivan Toney, Ivan Toney, Ivan Toney, Ivan Toney, Ivan Toney, Ivan Toney. So to say that now all of a sudden you're trying to dress up, Gyökeres is coming into a high pressure situation. And this is the only time in the last under Arteta's reign that this position has had this kind of pressure. That's a bit disingenuous, especially when the guy that you're saying was on pace to score 20 goals last season came in and he went to that position. And when we were saying he was not a striker, he's basically he's just a, he's all over the place. There was no pressure then, but now all of a sudden it is. After we've bottled 2 opportunities to win, after we bottled the opportunity and then we completely missed out, and then we completely blew it out the water last year. And then last year we finished 14 to 15 points behind Liverpool, and you're saying that same guy was on pace to 20 goals in a year where we finished 14 points behind the other team. And then now all of a sudden it has a major issue. When in fact last season everybody was saying we needed a striker. The season before that we needed a striker. Now all of a sudden it's a high pressure situation. No, you're making it a high pressure situation now. And so you got to be careful with these stands like this right here. You've got to be careful with these kind of folks right here. I've told y'all before, I worked in media. I was a sports reporter at one time. I know how this works. You cannot fool me. You're trying to create this narrative as if the striker who has scored 97 goals in 102 games of all of a sudden he's some tool. When that's not the case. But you're not going to call it out because your meal ticket is on the line. Your hamburgers and hot dogs, your chips, your sandwiches, your juice at halftime, all that's on the line. So you're going to try to toe the confident line here. And as we say over here, if you straddle the fence long enough, you get splinters in your ass. We're going to move on to this next part.
That signing has never, ever had more expectation. I don't think there's been a greater level of expectation on a specific... I'm not talking about the player. I'm talking about the position that we've looked to sign a player in. I don't think there's never, ever, ever been a year where we have had this much expectation on a specific player to join one position, and that is the centre-forward role for the 25-26 season. I'm trying to think of another one. I know centre-half was a big one when Arteta first came in. I know central midfield was a big one in the 23-24 season. I absolutely get that.
Who was brought into the central role? Who did we spend the money on to bring in for that central role? Who did we bring in for that position, chat? Put it in the chat. Put it down in the chat. Who's supposed to, in 23, who was the person we brought in to go into that midfield role? Who was it? Who was it? Who was the player? In 23-24, not this year, 23-24. 23-24, who was the player? Who was the player that was 23-24 we brought in to go in midfield? Yeah, Kyle Havertz. Yeah, Kyle. I like that Kyle Havertz. That Kyle Havertz. Kyle Havertz. Who he's saying was on pace to be the striker to go 20 goals last season. That's what he said. Thomas the Tank Engine. He just said Kai Havertz was on pace for 20 goals last season. But in the 23-24 season, he was brought in to be the midfielder. And then, hey, whoa, let's go to 2022. Who was brought in to be the main striker? That'll really knock your socks off. Who was brought in to be the striker in 2022? Who was brought in 2022 to be the main striker? I'll wait on that one too. Who was brought in, ladies and gentlemen? He gets lost all the time. See, He's another one that we're going to discuss too. We're going to discuss him too because he came with a hefty fee as well. Hefty fee. Never gets discussed. And I want you to watch this stupidity that's getting ready to happen here because we're right here on the doorstep. Yeah, we're right here at it. I want you to listen and you watch. You watch.
But it's the reason why I find it difficult is because I don't think it's fair so early to be like publicly, and I have to be so aware that we have weight. It's not an arrogant thing to say. It's the reality. Thousands of people watch the show. Thank you so much for, by the way, helping us to reach 67,000. When I write an article about somebody, it's read by however many people. That's the nature of the job. And I feel like I have to be conscious of that when I'm speaking about a player that's only just joined. I feel like there's a level of consciousness I need to have when talking about somebody. But I also have to pay you the respect of being honest about how I'm feeling. And how I'm feeling right now is not good. How I'm feeling right now is incredibly concerned. So, like Mikey says, you're going very early. Now, I'm not making any conclusions here. I'm not coming to the end of a judgment. I'm not saying his time's done. I'm not saying it's a failed signing. I'm not saying any of these things. So I don't think I'm going early because I'm not concluding anything. I think I'm just rightfully voicing some concerns I've got at this point. And that Burnley performance that he had was really good. The first 45 minutes of that game was the best 45 minutes of football Gyökeres has played for us. And he was starting to click, and there was some things starting to happen. But even though he's just come back from this injury, he's still now played 5 appearances in a row and scored 0.
There's a few other people in this team that's played 5 appearances and they scored nothing. You're gonna see who that is too. See, you have to be careful when Thomas pulls these numbers out and stuff like this. This is for his fan base to, oh wow, he's played 5 and hadn't scored anything. Wow, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Hadn't brought up Havertz. You just wait. There's some people he hadn't brought up yet, and it's gonna blow you. It's gonna knock your socks off. Because, like I said, we're gonna go through this. And y'all know how I roll. I'm gonna present you with the evidence, and then you'll be able to walk away and make a judgment on your own. Because what you're seeing now, this is fluffle. He's just talking. This is babble fish. What he's talking about. This is just babble.
He's barely come close to scoring. And the biggest issue I've got with the biggest defense that he's got, which apparently is service, is that there were 2 moments in that game yesterday where the centre forward that's going to take Arsenal to the next echelon of success gets on the end of that Saka cross, gets on the end of that Martinelli cross. The service argument for you is dead yesterday. Dead. Absolutely dead. There's no way that he shouldn't be getting on the end of that Saka cross. There's no way he shouldn't be anticipating being at the back post for that Martinelli cross. That service argument yesterday was dead. Nothing. Zilch. If you try and argue the service argument yesterday, I'm sorry, but you're coming up very short.
He said the service argument is dead. That sheet of paper, ladies and gentlemen, the sheet of paper that you have, I want you to write down on that sheet of paper. The service argument is dead. Write that down. Right there next to Havertz was on pace for 20 goals last season. This is what Thomas just said. This is what Thomas just said. He just said that the service argument is dead. It's deader than Jimmy Hoffa. That's what he just said. It's dead. No good. Carry on, Thomas.
Very, very, very short indeed. And then Jesus comes onto the field. And by the way, this is an excerpt you can see on the screen from the game against Club Brugge from Dan Sheldon in The Athletic, which is despite the fact Gabriel hadn't played for nearly a year, he looked sharp during his 30-minute cameo, came close to adding Arsenal's 4th goal. And the 28-year-old managed more touches and registered the same number of shots as Gyökeres, who played 62 minutes. Gyökeres had 5 touches in the first half. Gyökeres had 5 touches in the first half. 5. That's not about service.
It's not. It's not about service.
You need to be engaged in the game more. You need to be showing more. You need to be doing more. And this is why I asked Arteta on Friday, what is it about?
You can't tell me. This is why I asked Arteta. This is why I asked Arteta on Friday. You asked him a question you knew you weren't going to get a damn answer worth a damn on, Thomas. You didn't ask him. You hadn't asked him any hard questions. We call the questions that you had softball. These softball just lay up. You ever play wiffle ball with your kids? You just throw the ball up and they can hit it every time. He's not throwing 102 mile per hour straight right down the plate. He's not doing that. The corporate shield says the service argument is dead, and then asks Gyökeres, this Shane, you just wait. You just wait. Because he said, I want y'all to remember what he just said. He just said, and I'm trying not to yell because I ain't feeling too good. He just said the service argument is dead. It's dead. He said that barring Kai Havertz's injury last year, that he was on pace for 20 goals. He just said Jesus came on, and he's basically getting ready to say that he's in a better situation. He's been doing more, and he's been on in less time. That's what he's saying. Then he comes back. He says Gyökeres only had 5 touches on the ball. That's it. 5 touches. I expect more. Well, damn it. I tell you what. Y'all bear with me here. Let me get myself sorted here so that we can present this evidence. Because remember what I told you. He said, we're going to start with Kai Havertz. Number 1 on that sheet of paper that y'all had. Number 1 on that sheet of paper that y'all had. We're going to go right back. And I wanted to do it this way. Because this way will be the best way. We're going to start right here. Y'all bear with me here. We're going to go back. We're going to go all the way back. We'll go all the way back. We're going to run it back. Y'all bear with me here. We're going to start right here at the scene of the crime. We're going to start right here at the scene of the crime. In 2021, this is at Chelsea. 4 goals, 3 assists. Y'all follow me now. Y'all make sure y'all follow me. 21, 22, 8 goals, 3 assists. 22, 23, 7 goals, 1 assist. 23, 24, 13 goals, 7 assists. 24, 25, 9 goals, 3 assists. And then, of course, this year, we get 25, you know what it is. Absolutely, just 1 goal, one appearance, 1 goal. We all saw that goal. So I asked the question, based off of his entire career in the Premier League, where was 20 goals coming from? On what planet was he getting 20 goals? See, this is why I don't pay attention to XG and all this sideways bullshit. because either he's going to do it or he's not. Either he's going to do it or he's not. And just by on what we've seen, he's been in the Premier League long enough. See, this is the discussion that they don't want to have. They don't want to have the discussion. They want to go out on one side and say, "Oh well, he's had this many games and this and the third." This brother here has had how many games? 152. You know, in basketball, for those who, all my people that's in here, that's all my American G's that's in here, and all my international fans that watch basketball, you know what this stat is. We've seen this before. This is what you call garbage minute stuff. That's that cat. That's that cat. He's stat padding. It looked like he's doing something. This is why we tell you all the time: watch the game and stop. Watch the game watch the game. Don't just watch it just to have a good time. Actually, watch the game. Most of these dudes are on their phone, scrolling Instagram, looking at women. They ain't paying attention to the game. And then when the game plays out in the last 15, 20 minutes, most of the time, that's when everybody wants to go watch the game. Then you want to come up with all these hard, oh, he missed this, he missed that. It's just like in basketball. I always tell people in basketball, teams don't lose the game on the last shot all the time. It's normally in the game. It's normally somewhere, a foul somewhere, missed free throw. So when you look at Kai Havertz and you see this right here, or you go, oh, wait, yeah, that's actually halfway decent. Actually, it's not. Actually, it's not, considering that he played 2 years as a striker. So that's one right there. That's one. That's one. This is strike one. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's see what you're saying, chat, before we move on here. He's ignoring the fact that Gyökeres makes the right wrongs but gets ignored. Yeah, you just wait. This is why I said we have substantial video evidence this morning. I'm not even looking to get monetized at all off this video. Might even get took down. But we're going to go through some video evidence today. No, if you thought I wasn't coming with video evidence, then come on, y'all have been watching the channel too long. You know I got video evidence. You know it's in the chamber. It's in the chamber. Havertz was on course to score half of his total goals since coming to the Premier League. How can you even argue with someone that uses it a lot? It is, Shane. Shane, this absolute disgrace. They just pull out 20 goals. He's on pace to score 20 goals. Hadn't done it in his entire career. And then he shows all of a sudden he's going to score 20 goals. This is called butt munching. He's butt munching. He's kissing his ass. So let's go here. Because he's excuse me. Because he's on top of his head here. He's like, oh, Jesus is coming on. He's going to do more with this team. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. We're going to go down here and look at Jesus since he's been in the Premier League. 2016. Gabby goal. 7 goals, 4 assists. 13 goals, 3 assists. Seven goals, 3 assists. (2019). This is it. This is it. This was the peak of the valley. 14 goals, 7 assists. I'm pretty sure at that point, Pep was like, okay, well, maybe he's starting to turn the corner. 2020, 9 goals, 4 assists. (21, 22), 8 goals, 8 assists. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind now, this brother's saying he's going on about Gyökeres. Oh, yeah, man, he's not doing anything. 5 touches on the ball. 5 touches on the ball. 5 touches on the ball. He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything. Okay. And it's not about service. Oh, okay. 11 goals, 6 assists. We're going to keep going through this. Now I want y'all to see this. Watch this. 4 goals, 5 assists. Last season, you might have got 7 goals out of him last season. You might have got 7. And they'll tell you that him coming back was gonna make the big difference. That's what they'll say. He's on the way back. Everything's changing. I want you all to look at this. Because we heard what he said, ladies and gentlemen. He said that service is not the problem. But let's go to our assists. Look who is leading assists in this team. Declan Rice, Mikel Marino, Trossard, Calafiore, Timber. Edze's all over the place because they can't figure out where they want to play, where the manager wants to play him. Magalhaes, Zubamendi, Bukayo Saka, Ben White. Page 1. We're going to page 2. Who's on page 2? Who's on page 2? Who's on page 2 by himself? Look right there. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Your eyes are not deceiving you. There he is. The creative spark. Right there. When you pull back the layers and you start investigating, you start seeing where the issues and the problems come from. Now, on the surface, they'll say, oh, well, he was injured most of the season so far. Well, okay, cool. He's played 10 games. 10 games, 1 assist. I'll give you that argument. And we'll go to last season. 30 appearances, 3 goals, and 8 assists in 30 games of professional football. And you're telling me service is not an issue. You're telling me the service argument is dead. You're telling me it's not about service. You're telling me Harris was on his pace to score 20 goals. In what team? Jesus was coming on to do what? And you've got this geezer here, 3 goals, 8 assists at Arsenal Football Club. I mean, just look at this. Just look at this. And then they're telling you it's not about service. His best year, one of his best years, 23-24, 8 goals, 10 assists. And see, the thing about it is you got to go back to these games. You'd have to go back to these games. And you'd have to go decipher what games did he rack up the most assists in. It probably was in Luton Town. You go through and you look at some of these games, you'll say, okay, yeah, look, it's right there. You got the majority of them against Crystal Palace. And the majority of them against probably Luton Town. See, this is what we call fool's goal. I told y'all it's fool's goal. This is fool's goal. Once again, we talk about stat pad and looking busy. This is what this brother specializes in. This is what this brother specializes in. And then this brother tells you, oh, well, it's not about service. Damn if it ain't. Damn if it ain't. It's all about service. In his best year, 15 goals. The best year he had, he scored 15 goals. But what has he got over there on the assist column? This brother's about as good as a butter knife. Creative spark, they say. Creative spark. And this is why I tell y'all, you have to go back and you have to look at these games that he scored in. You have to go back and look at these games. I'm telling you, if you look at the games that he scored in, most of these games were games where we blew teams out or blew them away. But when you need to call upon him when it gets the muck in the mire, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Watch this. Let's go back. Let me go back to that again. Go back to assist. We're gonna have another discussion that people don't want to have this morning. Can't let him off the hook either. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Love you, soccer, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Look over there in that column right there. Now, this is twofold. And there's a deeper discussion that needs to be had about this. There's a deeper discussion that needs to be had about this. We talked about this last night, Norski. We were sitting up last night talking about this. Soccer is how old, chat? Somebody in the chat put it in there. How old is my man Soccer? I want to see it in the chat. Tell me how old brother Bukayo Soccer is. The Don comes through in the clutch. 24 years old. Can somebody in the chat tell me what age he broke into the team? Don, can you tell me what age he broke into the team at? Can somebody tell me what age he broke into the team at? We're going to go. Don is saying 16, 17. I'm going to keep going. I want to see the chat. It's all good, brother. It's all good, brother. I know it's a tough one. 17. 17. We got 17 here. Yep, 17. He broke into the team. 7 years into his career. 7 years. Became a mainstay. Appreciate it, Shane. 19. 19. He's 24 now. He's 24. Six goals, 10 assists last season. Going the other way. 23, 24. Is anybody seeing it? Anybody see anything going sideways here? And this was on the young end of his career. We're going all the way back to the early part. This is from wing back, by the way. Most of this is from left wing back. People forget about that. Hell, you know what's even crazy when you sit down and you deep this thing? He's got more assists than Odegaard, and he's playing on the damn wing. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? He's better than what Odegaard is, and he's primarily an attacking player. Going forward, I mean, directly going forward. But there's also in that same discussion, there's also this is part of the reason why Gyökeres ain't getting no service because Saka ain't got no service. Saka is out. You ever seen the machine? When the machine ain't working? What does it say? Out of service. He's out of service. He's not. Gyökeres ain't getting no service because Bukayo Saka is out of service. He's out of service. He's broken. You just saw for your own eyes right here. The man is going down the toilet slowly. He is 24 years old, broke into the team at 19. He is out of service. It should be noted, Shane says it should be noted that the games played by the players you've covered less and less each year. Bundy destroys the hamstrings and the cartilage. It will be less game. You know what? This manager is absolutely breaking these players down. Then when they break down, they cannot provide what needs to be provided. But you know what's deeper than that, Shane and chat? You know what's deeper than that? You know what's deeper than that? You know what's deeper than that? Is the fact that Saka's been in this team since he was 19. And I'm still seeing stuff that shows that the manager has not showed. Hey, when you see certain players at 24, they're supposed to be on a different level. Saka's operating in the same playing field that he's been in for the last few years. There's not this big jump. Don says, Maddie, why is he breaking these players? Because he doesn't know how to use them. Yo, he doesn't appreciate them. You ever seen a child when they get toys? Shane used this analogy all the time. It's one of the best analogies that just you can use. Is on Christmas morning, you get a bunch of toys. And because you're not appreciative of it, you just tear them up. Hit one arm over here, just bang and clash your toys. Just bang, 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 tear them up. Most people know I'm a collector. When I got my toys, I took care of my toys. Most of my toys actually worth money today. I kept all my old stuff, most of it. I took care of my stuff. I cherished it. I cultivated it. Made sure it was in good condition. Friends would come over. I let them play with my toys. I say, hey man, don't put that in the sand. Don't tear it up. No. Don't. I want it nice and neat. You get soccer. You look at soccer. This man just ran soccer into the ground. He hadn't said, you know what, we're going to take care of him. You remember the comment last year? You remember the comment last year? That brother said when he went down, he said, well, now he can get a vacation. So you never thought about giving him a vacation before he went down. And then this season, you come into this season and you see what right now, 14 games of football. He's on pace for about maybe 12 goals this year, 13, 14 at tops. But they'll tell you, but Thomas just said, we're going to go back to Thomas for all my people that's joining, because everybody's probably wondering, how do we get there? We're going to go back. We're going to go back to that screen in just a second. But we want to go back to what Tiffany Thomas, what he said.
Absolutely dead. The centre forward that's going to take Arsenal to the next echelon of success gets on the end of that Saka cross, gets on the end of that Martinelli cross. The service argument for you is dead yesterday. Dead. Absolutely dead. There's no way that he shouldn't be getting on the end of that Saka cross. There's no way he shouldn't be anticipating being at the back post for that Martinelli cross. That service argument yesterday was dead. Nothing. Zilch. If you try and argue the service argument yesterday, I'm sorry, but you're coming up very short. Very, very, very short indeed.
So he says that Tiffany Thomas says that the service argument is dead when it comes to Gyökeres, But then when you go and look at the stats, and you look over here, and you say, well, the majority of our stuff is played on the right-hand side. So surely that means that most of the service will come from the right-hand side. And what do you see? Well, I tell you what. You know how we roll. We'll go back. We're gonna go back through this. That's why I said we're gonna go through this because see, when you hear somebody come out and say the stuff that you see Thomas say, just spewing stuff, just saying stuff without any kind of basis, you have to go look. You have to go look. What do we see here? What do you notice? What do you notice? What do you notice right here? Is there anything here? Does anybody notice anything about this right here on the page? Drop it in the chat if you do. If you notice something right here, right now, what do you not see? What do you not see on this page right here? There's no assist at all over here. Thank you. Thank you. Where the assist at? Because Thomas said it's not, the service argument is dead. D-E-A-D, dead on arrival. Dead. Oh, this is even crazier. Crosses completed this season, 17%. 17%. 17%. That's what they say. That's what they say. I got you, Rashid. I got you, brother. And they'll tell you the service argument is dead. Get the casket out, get the hearse, call Paul Bearer and Undertaker, is dead. D-E-A-D, dead. And then you wonder why this striker is scuffling. Hell, I'd almost go on a limb and say it right now. He overachieving, as far as I'm concerned, considering what he's working with. Let's go through Martinelli history and watch how this match has broken him too. Oh, look at that right there. Look at this. This last season, 33 games of professional football at the highest level. He's saying the service is dead. D-E-A-D, dead on arrival. This is what Thomas said. This is not what I said. I didn't say that the service argument was dead. He said it was dead. This was last season. 8 goals, 4 assists. Stay away from XG. I tell you all the time, stay away from XG. These are the 2 numbers you need to look at. Concrete numbers. Don't look at XG expected and all that stuff. No. That is just basically fluff to make it look like, oh, the player was on pace. He's going to do something. That's why he felt he was on. Kai Havertz was on pace for 20 goals. On pace. No. This is finite. This is what he produced. You look at what the person produced. 33 games of football, 8 goals, 4 assists. And then you take the context that they like to throw out the word context. You take that context and we figure out where did the 8 goals come from and where did the 4 assists come from? What games matter? Did it matter? Did we win the game? Was there an ultimate result that led to a trophy? That's what you're concerned about. That's what you ask the questions about. So then you go down through here. We go to 23. I'm gonna do the Shannon Sharp. Wing play at this football club is out of service. Thank you. Come again. Isn't that what the machines say? Hold on. We're going to have some fun this morning. Y'all hold on. Y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me. We are going to have some fun. You know, we like to have fun over here. When you go, let me zoom, blow it right here. This is when you go get to the candy machine, when you go to the arcade, you want to play a game. What does it say? Out of service. Come again. This is what happens when you want to get your pop out of the machine at work. You go downstairs on break, and then when you go down there, you're looking to get you a candy bar, some chips, and then you say, "Damn, man, out of service." And they tell you that the service argument is dead. That's what Thomas said. He said the service argument is dead. But then when you look over here, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Hell, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Where's it coming from? Let's go to 22. He got his, but you ain't getting yours. You see that? I'll get mine, but you ain't getting yours. See, this is what they get obsessed with. As soon as when you look at coming off the wing, you get obsessed. Oh, well, Arteta, he plays a lot off the wing. Yeah, that's cool. I hear what you're saying. Right there. Right. Ace, you knocked it right out. Greed. Oh, you just wait, brother. You just wait. You just wait, my friend. Like I said, I'm just getting cranked up here. We probably about 40% through, 30-40% through. Look at this. This is in 21. This was potential. We'll end right here because this is basically all you need to know going forward. We're in it right there. So let's go back. We're gonna go back out again. I want y'all to watch something. Watch this now. Bear with me. Where is he at? Let's go to Brother Trossard. That's this year so far. 4-3. Watch this now. Oh, what's that? 8-7. And this was he was all over the place last year. This was the year I think he came in halfway through the season this year. And I keep telling y'all that's the year. I think that was 20, no, it was 23, 24. I think that was another one of the years he was in and out here. Then we get to 22. Was it 22? When did we get Trossard? 22? Was it 22 or 23? I can't remember what year we got Trossard now. It's been so damn long. I want to say it was 20. Was it 23? Chat, was it 23 that we got Trossard? Trossard came in at 23. '22, 23. Yeah, this was the year. This is when he was making it, when Arteta made a mess of the whole team. 8 goals, 12 assists. You know, that's something to be said. Let me see if I can find this right quick, y'all. Y'all bear with me. Yeah, bear with me here. Let me see. I hope I saved it. Well, I need to save it. Let me see. Did I save it? There's a lot that has to be said about Leandro Trossard. Y'all bear with me here. I'm gonna pull this up. Trossard is probably one of the only people. There's three people at this football club. I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna let you guess the other two. And it's gonna blow your mind when I say who it is. But there's only about 3 players that could truly get the best out of Gyökeres in this football club. One of them is Trossard. You see this right there? They're on a different playing field. They see it different. And it's no coincidence. What's the one thing that these two have in common, ladies and gentlemen? Can anybody tell me can somebody tell me Diamond? Yeah, y'all go ahead and put them in there. Put them in there. Put them all in there. Put them in there. Put them in there. All these players y'all naming. What do they all have in common? What do they all have in common, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all bear with me. Let me go run to the restroom. I'm going to do a league gunner. Bear with me. Y'all put it in the chat. I'm coming back. I'm going to run right quick. I'll be right back. I want y'all to put it in the chat. What do they have in common? I'm going to knock your socks off when I come back. I'm going to see if anybody get it. Y'all bear with me. Let's go, guys. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Let's see. Did anybody get it? I'm going down. I'm scrolling. Let me see. Did anybody get it? Oh, nobody got it. Let me help y'all out. Let me zoom in. You know what it is? None of them started their career under Arteta. None of these players started their career under this manager. None of these players have had extended period of tutelage under this manager. None of them. Zero. Zilch. So when they come into the team, it's like a foreign language to the manager. Even socking them and what the hell is this? What's going on here? Because they're playing football on a different level than the ones that's here, that's been under this manager for this entire time. So when they come into the team, everything is out of whack. Havertz only fits in just because the manager wanted him. So he's going to give him and Odegaard get extra preferential treatment. So when you see somebody like Trossard comes in, and remember, let's not forget, let's go back to when Trossard first came into the team, because Trossard came in right after we took the international break that year. We were 8 points clear. He was coming off a player of the month. He was rolling. He was just ripping it up. The manager says, "No, I bought Jesus. He's the savior. I'm putting him back in the team." And what did Jesus do for the rest of the year? Whereas Trossard became a what? Can they say dibbly dobbly? Remember last season? Trossard comes in. They're talking about getting rid of him. They're talking about moving in, moving out. And then what happens? He scores the goal, doesn't celebrate. Do we remember that? Then this season, he gets a new deal, and everybody's in an uproar. Everybody's, well, how the hell did he get a new deal? Tell you why he got a new deal. Watch this, zoom back in again. Because Berta knows what he's doing. Berta likes players like this. Berta signs players like this. This is a Berta type signing right here. This is a player that's up in age, that is still operating at a high level, and that's a player that can do what you need to get done. Go look at the track record. Go look at the players he signed. Berta, I'm talking now. See, this is why I said you have to break this thing all the way down. See, this manager is on borrowed time. You get Matt Wakey? Okay, cool. You need somebody rest for soccer. Okay, well, we'll get him. Cool. He goes out there. What do you see? Dalman, first game. What do you see? Eberechi Eze, first game with Gyökeres. What do you see? These are all players that are getting the ball. They are not under this manager. See, this is the other argument too. And I'm not taking a shot at you, I want you to understand what I'm about to say. When I say this, it'll make a lot more sense. He says, to be frank, Matty Berta fucked up signing Gyökeres, especially under this manager and system. Guess what? He's not here for this manager, because the manager, if he does not produce, is out of here. This is for the next manager when we get a class manager. These type signings that are coming in are not for this manager. Because Berta realizes, just like I do, that the players that have worked under this manager are out of service. Out of service. This manager knows that those players that are in this team are not his players, and so now he wants to go, I'm going to win by hook or crook with these players that I have went out and bought and that I have produced with. And it's quite obvious to see. Look how he treats these players. Matt Wakey scores 2 goals in the Champions League. Doesn't even see pitch. Trossard scores goals. When you play him busted up, in and out of the team. Eze, 3 goals against Tottenham Hotspur, and another goal that same week, I think, in the Champions League. Put Odegaard back in, move you out the way. Now you hear rumblings about Havertz coming in. And you got a striker who can't get in his service. It's there for everybody to see. It's there for everybody to see. And then you go back, you go over here. Let's bring it back. You go over here, and you see the production. You see the production. Let's go out of this. Where is he at? Let's go. Where is he at? Eze, under this manager. Look at that. 8-8. 11-4 away from this manager. It's balanced. Relatively balanced player. And this is why I say when you look at some of these players, you have to look at where they score their goals at. We've seen Eze's goals where he scored them at. We've seen most of what he does. When you look at our players and you look at where those goals come from, most of them is like, okay, cool. All right. And so then you get people like Thomas, they'll go, all right, well, he's not scoring. He's not scoring. Thomas, they go to the art. Oh, he's not scoring. He's not scoring any goals. He's not scoring. All right, well, cool. I hear what you're saying, Thomas. Let's go investigate. Holland leading the league, 17 goals. Probably gonna score 40 goals this year. You go Thiago, stays healthy, he's probably gonna be right behind him. Maybe 20, 21. Maybe. TK's getting started. It's like he's on pace for at least 14. Danny Welbeck. Better be glad we didn't play Danny Welbeck in that Carabao Cup game. And there we go. Look. See, they want to single out. Oh, it's Gyökeres ain't scoring. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Let's do it this way. Hit home. Who else is scoring? What? 4 goals. Marino. Zubamendi. Oh, right there. 1. Nobody is scoring at this football club right now. Why? Because this team under this manager is out of service. And then you got Tom Cannon talking about the service argument is dead. Okay, well, I tell you what. He says you keep in mind what I just said now. Y'all get ready. Like I said, we get ready to this next portion here. I told y'all this year when we started the season, I said every time I see it, we've been playing like this for the most part, most of the season. We've been playing this gremlin football. We've been playing gremlin football the majority of this season and the majority under this manager. Gremlin football. Ragtag stuff. Ragtag. Now, I want you to keep in mind what Thomas said again. I'm going to stay on it. The service argument does not matter. We can go back to last year. And they'll tell you that this manager's a genius. And you tell me that service. You look at this right here against Inter Milan last year. You tell me that service don't matter. U-shaped football. Yeah. That U-shaped football. U-shaped football. And you're telling me when it comes to Gyökeres, service doesn't matter. 100% I know. That's it. Not a damn thing is going through the middle. Gets even better. Gets even better. And they'll tell you, they tell you once again, they say it doesn't there's the service argument does not matter. All right. Well, cool. Let's go back to the scene of the crime. Remember, I told you I like to say go back to the scene of the crime. You ever watch a good detective show? Sometimes what they do is they'll do certain things and then they'll go back. They'll go back to visit the crime to make sure they didn't miss anything. And this is what I was doing last night before I went to bed. I was up last night just double checking, and I came across this. They say the service argument doesn't matter. Look at the pitch. Look right there. They say the service argument doesn't matter. Where's he getting the ball at? Where is the striker getting the ball at, ladies and gentlemen? You know what's even crazier when you see this? You see what's even crazier? What do y'all notice about this? That ain't the crazy. What Gyökeres is ain't even the craziest part. Look above him. Look above the striker. Do y'all see this? Everybody else on the team has a license to go forward, but he's got to come back. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? This is outrageous when you see it. This is outrageous. Outrageous. The striker. All the way over here. Look who we're hanging out with, y'all. Look who your striker hanging out with. Yeah, we're using we're using him as a false nine. He's definitely false. You're right about that. He's a false striker too. We're using him as a false striker. I'll say it again. I'll show you again. Out of service. But the service argument, according to Thomas, there's no argument. Gets even better. Gets even better. Y'all thought you think that's it? No, my friend. Let's go to Club Bruges. Oh, yes. Look at this right here. Look at your strikers. These are all completed passes. Let's zoom in on that. You see your striker? Last season, outside of injuries, what was the number one thing that they said was the problem last year? Outside of injuries, ladies and gentlemen, what was the number one issue that they said was wrong with this team? What did they say, chat? What did they say? We need a striker. Year before that, we need a striker. The year before that, we need an out and out goal scorer. That's what they said. We didn't beat them. We fell 2 points clear. We were 8 points clear. We were 2 points behind, 8 points clear, 14 points behind. We didn't have a striker. Now you got one. Look what you do to him. Not only that, mighty man, he does not like senior players that are older. He does not like players that's older that have had experience elsewhere and is bringing that experience into the team because he knows that those players he can't give them the runaround. He knows it. It's and my man Static 100%. You can sign many strikers as you want under this manager. They will all fail. Let's go down. I should have put a graveyard graphic up. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe. Hell, even Nketiah. And then you look at this brother here, 97 goals in 102 games, and you're telling me all of a sudden he's just some bum from off of Skid Row. I'm supposed to believe that. And then you tell me it's not you tell me that the attacking argument is dead. You could sign prime Ronaldinho and put him in this team and wouldn't do a damn bit of good under this manager. Not one pass went his way. Not one. And you had people online after that was going on. We play at Club Bruges now. And then you got people online saying, well, the striker's stinking it out. The striker's stinking it out. The striker is stinking it out. He's stinking it out. He's stinking it out. He's stinking it out. The striker, I expect more. I expect more. I told y'all earlier, I said, for far as I'm concerned, he's overachieving. They have 4 goals in this kind of a team with the way this with everything is set up. He's actually overachieving. He's actually overachieving. What got lost in all this game was that goal and that goal. So everybody was, oh man, this is great. That's great. Oh man, there's no problem. Great goals by both of the two gentlemen. But what do we have here? When you pull back that decadent veil, what do you see? You see that the striker is being left out. And I was one of the first people this season, probably game 2 or 3. You can go check the fan cams on Lee. I said, I'm watching something here, and I don't like what I see. They're not passing this man the ball. They're not giving him the ball in proper position. Number one, when I played, I was a striker. I could play across the entire front. I know exactly what everybody's position is supposed to do. Yeah, you're on the wing. Yeah, you get you some goals here or there, but your primary job is to facilitate to the striker. If you're in midfield, Mr. Odegaard, your primary job is to facilitate to the striker. When you see this right here is damning. This is damning right here, y'all. And it's the same problem. Shout out to the United brother in the chat. It's the same problem that you're going to see with Sesko because two of the managers, they do the same damn thing. Both of them do the same thing. You got strikers and don't use them. And then people get upset when you say, well, the striker ain't no good. No, striker's decent. You're just not using it. You're not using him. You're not using him. Watch this. Watch this. This is even better. Shout out to this brother here, man. This guy here, man. This Cannon Stats. I love this thing, man. Absolutely love this. Look at all this. Look at all of this. What you see here? Just even with Mikel Marino, what you see here? Look, what are we looking at here? Look at where all the action is. I forgot what game this is. I think this is just overall for the month of Aston Villa game. Look at this. Aston Villa game. Look at this. Look where all the action is. Look at the Mikel Marino. He's supposed to be the striker. Look where he's at. And you wonder why he couldn't score in the game against Villa. The manager's tactics, man. The manager's tactics. Second half of the game, second quarter of the game. Where's the ball at? Look. Third bit of the game. Look at the striker. Go to the fourth quarter part of the game. Oh, well, look. Towards the end of the game, what you see? Oh. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. Where's your striker? Where'd your striker at again? And then when you look at the overall aspect of the entire game, there's a couple of things I want you to see here. Look at your boy Martin Odegaard. Look where he spends most of his time at. Ben White. No wonder why he got a hamstring injury. Look where he's at the entire most of the game. Soccer. Remember I told you I get mine. Don't worry about yours. I get mine. You know, Kenny, it was funny because Kenny brought it up yesterday on Lee's show about basically about Gabby really didn't do much, and all of a sudden he saw that the substitute board was going up in the game, and then he wanted to try to make something happen. That's an old tactic. I've done that too. Try to start being a try hard when they know they get ready to get subbed off. Eze out wide. Trossard. Look at this. Everybody play defense. Look at it. Look at this. Oh yeah, we got it today, y'all. We got it. Video is on the way. Y'all just hold tight. Everybody's talking about video. We got video evidence today. But I want you all to see this. I want you all to see this manager's madness. Just sit. Yeah. This is the one I want for this weekend. This is against Wolves. First bit of the game. Look. A little bit better. Right? Oh. They said the striker doesn't do anything. Well, where is he at? He's finding the box. We're here. And then just watch it gradually throughout the game what happens. This is at halftime. This is after halftime. Look what happened. There he is. And then we get to finally the last bit of the game where everything gets out of hand. This is against Wolves. Look what a striker is. Hey, Shane, you 100% correct. He does. He gets more of the ball than the actual striker in open play. That's some shit, ain't it? In the North is right. We're getting by on sheer player talent. Nothing to do with the match. Yeah, this is why people say we're moments team. You got a lot of rival fans. They'll say, yeah, you got a lot of players, but they're moments players. And that's true. This is why you saw that goal. They saw the own goal. Everybody thought Jesus scored. They thought, oh, Jesus it's a moment. It's a moment. It's a moment. You got fans. You got folk like Dan coming out talking about every game at the Emirates Stadium feels like a cup final. No, it doesn't. This is 100% madness. And then we wonder why we had trouble with teams like Aston Villa. Look. Overall average touch locations. Look where the striker's getting the ball at. Look at where Martinelli's getting the ball at. Hell, look at Trossard when he came on, where he's getting the ball at. Look at Eze. And then they'll tell you the service argument is there. And see, when you watch these panel shows, they'll just say, oh, well, Gyökeres is this. We paid that much for him. He should be doing da-da-da-da-da-da. In theory, you would say that's correct without having to look at all this stuff. But when you start looking at it, you say, well, damn, you know what? They really are. Look, wow. Because you see that the manager's tactics is holding his team back. The tactics. We're basically playing like we did last year. Because if you see this right here, and this is almost just like you go back to last year. You say, well, let's go look at last year. What did we do last year? This is what we did last year. This is what we did. We did this last year. And you're telling me I'm not looking at the same thing that I saw last year. You're telling me that it's not the same thing. And people wonder why the striker's struggling in this system. And like I said, based off of what I've seen from the manager and what he's had to deal with, I think he's overachieving. Which therefore tells me if you actually start passing the ball, he probably damn score all the damn time. This is just a repeat. This is a repeat episode of last season. Repeat episode of last season. And this is why when you hear people go, the argument is dead. Nah. Watch this. This is just so far in the league this year. Let me pull this up. This is this year. In the first and second half of games. Look at this madness. This is what it typically looks like. Y'all see this? Did that not look like this right here? Does this not look like? We're gonna go back again. Just so I want people to see this. Does that not look like this? Does that not look like this right there? Looks like a damn tornado. Look at that right there. But service is out of the question. We're wasting. Well, let me rephrase that. The manager has wasted a lot of soccer's best early years of his career. He's wasted them, just completely wasted. This is why you're starting to see a mean streak. I don't know if y'all noticing it, but you're starting to see a mean streak in soccer. He's getting a bit of a mean streak. And it's because he knows that he's not the player that he used to be under this manager due to injuries. And he's got to overcompensate. So I've got to try to make sure I live up to the hype by any means necessary. Martinelli's just trying to make sure he keep a check because he know he ain't getting paid like this again once he leave Arsenal. He knows he'll never get another check like this leaving Arsenal. He knows it. He knows it. Y'all just bear with me. Let me cut this heat on, bro. It is cold here today, bro, my friend. It is cold in the US of A today. Good God, it is 25 degrees outside. It is cold. I feel all of that. Yeah, this is Kamani, 100%, brother. 100%. 100%. Devil demonic football. I told y'all this is demonic stuff. I told y'all that last year was demonic. This is haram. Absolute devilish football. You can sign whoever you want to sign. They ain't working. It's not going to work on this manager. It's not going to work. The reality is that this manager is not getting the best out of this team. We go back. I'm sorry, I took that down. I'm going to go to the other side. Second half, pardon me. Let me bring that back. That was the first half. This is the second half of games. Look at what we're doing here in the second half of games. What do you see? Look at this. It gets worse. And see Shane. Shane sits on these shows. And when he sits on these shows, he'll tell people this stuff. He'll say, well, we're sitting back and defending. And then they'll come back and say, oh, well, how are we sitting back and defending? Well, what are we doing in the second half? Look at the first half. Look at the first half. Right here. And then look at the second half. Hell, soccer's up there doing his own thing. Second half, I was just freestyling. And then look, everybody's back, middle of the pitch, drop it back. We're defending. We're defending. This team is set up to fail. I told you all when we first started this, I said we played 4-3-3. We played it 17 times. Last year was 48 times. The year before that was 50 times. And every time we play 4-3-3, we drop too deep. They end up dropping 2 extra men or 3 extra men in the midfield, and it causes all kind of hell. And we end up paying the price down the line in the games. How many times have I told y'all that today? And here it is right here. This is your proof. We're defending. We take a lead. We defend. And you got people coming out saying, oh, well, you can't quantify the service argument. Hell if you can't. Hell if you can't. Because he'll tell you, they say the service argument is dead. Well, let's go then. Damn it, let's go. Martin Odegaard, where the hell is he passing the ball at the majority of the time? Look right there. Hey, gal, here goes a heat map for you. Look at that right there. There's a heat map for you. That's your creative spark right there. That's the creative spark right there. And you're telling me it ain't a service problem. And then don't you find it crazy? Don't you find it crazy that everybody else got to track back and do hard work, but when you look over here, look. He ain't getting involved, bro. Out of service. Out of service. And it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better just because Jesus and the crew is coming back. Not going to happen. It's not gonna happen. Where's this? Like, I got one more graphic here. I think I got one. I think that might be all. Let me see. Yeah, that was all of them. We're getting ready to get into the meat and potatoes now, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to get into the meat and potatoes. We're gonna go back to your boy. Yeah, bear with me to close a couple of these windows out so I know where I'm at. We'll go back. Scene of the crime will start right here. The brother Egal, July 15, 2025. Martin Odegaard will benefit the most from Viktor Gyökeres signing for Arsenal. That was July 15. When it should read, Gyökeres should benefit from Martin Odegaard. That's how it should have read. But no, Martin Odegaard is going to benefit from Gyökeres. Let's get into this. Let's break this down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's break this down. Let's go. We got one more clip here. I want y'all to listen to this. Let's bring him back, and then we're gonna get into our video breakdown, and then we're gonna head on home. We got quite a few videos, video clips to break down. Let's get into this right here. You see where is it at here? Just for shits and giggles, look right here. Ben White out for weeks. But y'all said he was fine. He was back, he was healthy.
We've raised a couple of little things here and there. We wanted to see more from him, but we spoke about how delighted we were that we saw him at Burnley. He's really starting to kind of hit the ground running, and then he gets that injury. But for me, I just feel as though that there's already this concern for me that sides are starting to appear already on Viktor Gyökeres. That
he says they're starting to appear, brother. They started last summer. You were sitting on Talk Sport talking about Sesko. No better player in the world. That's what he was saying. There was no strikers nowhere. Sesko, Benjamin. Even cutting videos when they thought we signed him. Cutting videos. They had to pull it back. Sesko.
You have the Gyökeres haters and you have the Gyökeres supporters, and then I fall from my perspective at least is in between those, which is where you want to sit. You want to sit on the fence for a player that's been here for 4 months. You don't want to start making sweeping conclusions about a player so early on in their time. But equally, you can still be critical of what you see, and so far there is things to be critical about, and hope, of course, that he turns into a player that proves to be the player that we hoped he was when we signed him. But I think that what was evident in the discussion was that I think things are being blown a little bit out of proportion.
I mean, y'all just saw the clip. I mean, we played it earlier. Y'all saw the clip, what he said. Y'all saw what he said. This is what he said. I didn't say this. The chat didn't say this.
The centre forward that's going to take Arsenal to the next echelon of success gets on the end of that Saka cross, gets on the end of that Martinelli cross. The service argument for you is dead yesterday.
That's what he said. He said the service argument is dead. You don't let him move off of that now. You don't let this gentleman here off of that argument. He said the service argument is dead. But then he turns around the next day, a couple of days later, and then he says,
because I don't think this conversation is as dire as kind of how it felt yesterday evening, because I just feel as though that it's people just are having opinions at the moment. People have got their opinions about things. It's not as serious as like the Arteta debate or the Arsene Wenger debate back in the day. I don't think it's serious as a number of other debates that we've had about other different things. I just worry that this Gyökeres discussion is starting to kind of like spiral out of control a little bit, and battle lines are starting to be drawn.
He got the chalk out. He got the chalk out. He drew the battle line last summer. Shesko. You're lucky I forgot to go find that clip because I would have played it. And then now he's talking about it's a North thing. It's worrying. No, it's not worrying. And I sat right here with y'all this morning and we've gone through this and showed y'all the attack is broken on the left side, especially on the left side, broken. Right side is breaking down in process of breaking down. And then the midfield, I mean, it's a mess. Midfield is a mess. And then now he wants to come. Oh, but it's not this. It's worrying. And no, well, you know why he's worried, man. Let me zoom in. I'm gonna tell you why this brother's worried. He's worried because now he's got to be held accountable for what he said. Because he said we just played it. He said the service argument is dead for the striker because he should have been on the end of those two crosses. That's what he said. Now all of a sudden he's saying, "Oh, it's worrying that the battle lines are starting to get drawn." This is why I say you have to break this Joker here, man. You have to watch him. You have to watch him because he wants to come out and then wants to create the battle line and then turn around and want to try to erase it at the same time. No, sir. No way. No way. No Bob. No how.
On an individual, when in the reality, I just don't think it's that. I don't think it's a huge deal right now. I just think that Arsenal are and have a number of options. Gyökeres has come in. He's not been, in my opinion, as good as perhaps we hoped that he would be right now. That might change, and that should be allowed to change. But equally, like a lot of the narrative was why somebody like Kai Havertz got given extra grace when Gyökeres isn't being given that same grace. I feel as though that's, and I mean this with respect, but I feel as though that's fairly obvious why Havertz would be given additional kind of leeway, because the context of both players joining is completely different. Kai Havertz arrived in 2023. Arsenal had competed for the title in a surprising fashion just once the season before, with hopes to, of course, go on and solidify that challenge, which they did that season. He came from a Chelsea side where he.
I'm gonna get some. Next time I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get some kissing sound effects because he is kissing the ass of Kai Havertz. He is kissing that ass of Kai Havertz. I just went through those stats with y'all. I showed y'all those stats with Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz won't offer nothing more than what you gonna get. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. He is scuffling, trying to find excuses. He's just trying to find anything that's not nailed down to the floor. Anything. This is a crock of shit that he's talking about right here. Kai Havertz was going to give you the same thing that Kai Havertz is giving you. Maybe 9 goals, maybe 11 on a good year. Maybe 4 or 5 assists at best. That's it. That's all you're getting. That's all you were getting.
He wasn't particularly liked. They were happy to see him go because they felt as though he'd not done well enough. And he was signed to something.
And then he says that they felt like they hadn't done well enough. Well, hell, you saw the stats. Well, I'll tell you what. This is why I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Let me see, where is he at here? Let's go back here. Let me come out of that. Go back to club. Go back to Arsenal. I mean, because see, he wasn't doing anything when he left. But they defend that. I'm telling you, they defend Kai Havertz, man. They defend that brother there. They defend that brother. They really want to see Kai Havertz, go to the next level. They say, oh, well, he had not produced. He hadn't done anything. He hadn't done anything. He hadn't done anything. There you go. You just keep doing this. Hey, if y'all want this right here, there you go right there. I'm going to put it in the chat for y'all. Right there. And y'all can just go down through this stuff in your leisure and just look. Because they'll tell you that stuff. Oh, well, he's going to do this. He's going to do that. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Well, where? Where? See, this year fooled a lot of people. I mean, this is all you're getting. It's a proven fact. This is what you're getting from it. So it's not going to get any better than that. This is just company shilling. He's just the company man. He's just, being the company guy. He's shilling. He's shilling at the highest quality right now.
A project player that was always going to take time to,
See, catch that. Did y'all peek that? Did y'all peek that right there? Let's go back to that right there. Let's go back to that right there. Let's go back to that right there.
And I mean this with respect, but I feel as though that's fairly obvious why Havertz would be given additional kind of leeway, because the context of both players joining is completely different. Kai Havertz arrived in 2023. Arsenal had competed for the title in a surprising fashion just once the season before, with hopes to, of course, go on and solidify that challenge, which they did that season. He came from a Chelsea side where he wasn't particularly liked. They were happy to see him go because they felt as though he'd not done well enough. And he was signed as something of a project player that was always going to take time to grow and to.
How the fuck can you defend a project player and you supposed to be coming off the back of fucking losing an 8-point bottle job, and then you sign a fucking project player? What sense does that make? That's how you know it's an Arteta signing, just based off the premises of that shit alone. You know that's some bullshit. You supposed to be going for a league. You sign a damn project, and it's acceptable to sign a project player and let him bed in. You see, they would defend bullshit to the highest of the high. They will defend this bullshit to the end of the eternity. They go far as they can. Project player. No, surely he was talking about 3-6 Mafia and Project Pat. That's what he was talking about. He must have meant to say, well, I was listening to Project Pat on the radio. I was listening to Project Pat. He comes out and says project player. Signing a project player. And you're supposed to be Arsenal Football Club. I've said this before. We got too many Europa League players in this team. We got too many players that were there when we needed them to get out, through the Euro, navigate the Europa League. And then you got this brother here talking about project player. The hell is this shit I'm listening to here? The man that played for Germany, the man played for Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea said, fuck this. He's out of here. We're going in another direction. And he talking about, oh, it's acceptable. What's good for thee and not for me?
Develop and to hold, but he had critics from like the first day. Like Havertz slander happened before he even signed.
Havertz slander started because of the fact of what he did when he was at Chelsea, brother. Let's not play revisionist history. Let's not play revisionist history. He came to when we signed Havertz, ladies and gentlemen, we signed him and he was already out of service. He was already out of service when we signed him. The manager knew it. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew that when we signed Havertz, he was out of order. We knew it. And then he comes out here, he acted as if there's like some kind of new phenomenon that when he came in, he was up under scrutiny. Of course he was under scrutiny. Look at the price tag. Look at how much we paid for him. And y'all have heard me say on this channel many times that we'd have paid probably $18 million for Harris. Probably hear a word from me. But see, the money that we were spending on players did not equal the output. This is demonic stuff here we're looking at. This is 666 stuff we're watching right here. This is Zool. This is Vigo. The Scourge of Carpathia. This is demonic stuff here. This is Poltergeist. Evil Dead. I mean, this is absolutely madness. And see, this goes back to the narrative that we've told you that they're so excited to get Havertz back in this team in the next couple of weeks. This is why they planted that seed. See, Tom Can in Big Man Harry, they like to go out there. They plant the seeds for you to know what's coming. Anybody that used to watch wrestling or watch WWE back in the day, WWF, WCW, all that stuff, no. You remember on WCW, Mean Gene would come on and he would say, call the 1-800 hotline. That would be the number that you would get to know what's coming down the pipeline in the next couple of months. This is what they do. They tell you certain stuff. So he's going on about Havertz. He's playing that seed. Havertz gets all this. He gets all this stuff. This is why they give him a little bit more time. Give him more time. 50 games, all this stuff. Give him this, give him that, give him this. But see, that applies to Havertz, but it doesn't apply to Gyökeres. And Gyökeres is coming from a different league over to this. Yeah, he's playing English football, but he's coming into his first year in the Premier League. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Based off of what we've seen this morning that I've showed you, that the evidence that I've shown you, that he's got not getting any service from anywhere. And we've seen it. And you're going to see it in the video in just a minute. That this brother's overachieving. He's overachieving. And then you got the company stands that are sitting here and they're saying, oh, when Kai Havertz came, they were so harsh on him. He was judged the first day. Why? Why was that?
Gyökeres got similar situation this summer. He was, the criticism of the player began before he'd even kicked a ball for the club. And that's not, for me, the case with Gyökeres. Gyökeres, there was obviously discussion about who people would rather have signed. Certainly, I felt that it was a terrible market for the centre-forward signing that we wanted to get.
You didn't say it was a terrible market. You never said that, Tom. You said Šeško. You wanted Šeško. You was bobbing the jig for Šeško every day. Šeško. And because you couldn't get the accurate information on who the club was signing, you didn't know what to do. He can take that shit and pour it back up the horse's ass. No way.
There was never going to be the Declan Rice type signing out there that I wanted us to go and sign, really. Even Alexander Isak was not that because of the injury situation that was going on with him, and that raised concerns about whether or not you could invest that amount of money in him. But the reality is that there is no free hit season this year for me. Like, there's
so now all of a sudden there's no Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that shit? Did y'all hear that shit? Did y'all hear what he just said? Did y'all hear that? Did you all hear that? Not all of a sudden, when we were at the table challenging for a title. Like I said, bear with me, y'all. I'm not feeling too well this morning, so my voice, I'm a little hoarse. Did you hear what he just said? I don't think folks heard what he just said. That's the most damning thing I think I've heard today out of everything he said. Let's play that again.
Never going to be the Declan Rice type signing out there that I wanted us to go and sign, really. Even Alexander Isak was not that because of the injury situation that was going on with him, and that raised concerns about whether or not you could invest that amount of money in him. But the reality is that there is no free hit season this year.
So he, in theory, in context, he's saying that everything else was a free ride. The hell with it, man. We'll just experiment, see how it go. when you're at the table the last 2 years. You were at the table. You were there. You were challenging. You were in there. The same oppression, the same amount of pressure that they're applying to Gyökeres, they would not apply it the last 2 years. And so now all of a sudden, because they know that the manager's ass is about to be grass, now all of a sudden we got to go to work because their Lord and Savior is Shane said that he's headed to the cross. This brother here is an absolute tool, and he's sitting there feeding this bullshit narrative as if Kai Havertz all these years was not the main man, when in fact he was the main man, according to this manager. It still is by some of this fan base. And then he turns around, and because the new man has come in, who's come in with expectations, he comes in, and then all of a sudden now it's not a free hit. So you basically say, well, we just right off these last couple of seasons with Kai Havertz, he can do whatever he want to do. But this brother here, we're going to hold to a standard. Man, boy, I tell you.
Like, there's no free hit for Gyökeres. You don't get 2 seasons when you join at 27 after scoring 52 goals previously. The expectation is there from day dot. You're in a team that's 3 years more mature than the case of, or 2 years at least more mature than when Havertz joined. And he's in a situation where this season is solely about winning. And there's not much in the way of excuses for Arsenal not to win.
So what was the last 2 years, Tom? If this year's about winning, what were the last 2? Ladies and gentlemen, that the alarm bell should be going off. The alarm bells should be going off. The alarm bell should be going off. For him to sit there, for him to say that, that's what you should be hearing. That's what you should be hearing. The alarm bell should be going off. This season isn't about losing. Then what the hell was the last couple of seasons? Why was the pressure not so intense like the last few seasons? I mean, bro, this brother here, man. That is, I'll be damn. That's an I'll be damn moment. That's an I'll be damn. I am literally over here floored this morning.
This season. So, and you've pushed to join the club at this season and this state at this time. So I think it's, yeah, and I say this with a respect, but I just don't see any other words of putting it or way of wording it. I think it's obvious why there are different ways of judging the start to life at a club between when Havertz arrived and when Gyökeres arrived. When Havertz arrived, he was playing, he didn't even have a defined position.
You see that? When Havertz, see, this is what I'm saying. You a cat like this, man. This cat said when Havertz, he didn't have a desired position. You knew what the fuck his position was. And I hate to be that blunt, but you knew what the fuck his position was. He was coming in midfield. You knew it. You knew it. And your manager knew it. And the manager said, well, shit, I fucked up here. I got to figure out what to do. Oh, we don't have a striker. Let's throw him up top. Let's see what happens. And you know how I know that to be true? He did the same thing with Marino. Same thing with Marino. Marino ain't going to work. Let's throw him up in midfield. Let's throw him out in midfield. Let's throw him up the striker. Let's throw him up the striker. Havertz had played professional football in the Bundesliga and was signed by Chelsea. Go look at the position he was playing at when he was signed by Chelsea. Look at the position he played at when he was at Chelsea. Look at the position when we signed him for Arsenal. People forget. Anybody who watched this channel knows the 2 people I said bring in that summer in midfield. I said, Rice, Waffle Don is in the chat. Waffle Don is in the chat. Waffle, what did we say? We sat right here. Darren's in the chat. Darren Sullivan's in the chat. He sat on the panel with me. We both sat on the same panel. What did we say? We said Rice and Sasado. Both players, 1 and 2, Rice and Sasado. you can go get both players. I tell you the story every single time. We went to go buy Declan Rice in January of that same year. West Ham said 75 million. They said, no, we'll come back. They offered to get Sassedo. They didn't pay the money up front. This is Edu doing Edu things. We know how that go. We could have went and got both players, and then we could have been sorted out right now. Wouldn't be having these same problems. What happened? We opted to get Rice. We went all in on Rice. We paid $100 million when they offered him. They said 75 in the winter. They said no. We came back and overpaid. We got the player, and then we messed around here and then spent all the majority, the bulk of the money on who? Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz came in when everybody was mad as hell because they thought we needed a striker, and you had some of us going for Sassedo, and then Havertz comes in, and then we said, well, man, this ain't gonna work out. I'm telling you now, this ain't gonna work. We're looking at it, it's not gonna work. And what happened? What happened? What are we seeing? And then he wants to play the game of, oh, well, he didn't have a position. You knew damn well he had a position. Tommy, that was a sorry-ass take you just had. That take was out of order because you knew what it was. Say it for what it is. We signed him as a midfielder, and it didn't work out. The manager's plan didn't work out. He misjudged. It's okay to say that the manager was wrong in that. But then in that, you don't come out and say, "Hey, we've got a striker that's coming into the Premier League that everybody's on their head. Oh, it's the greatest league ever. He's coming to the Premier League, and then all of a sudden, you don't give him the same grace. You say, hey, man, just chill out, man. Let him get a couple of games. Let's look at why he's not getting it. I've showed y'all this morning why he's not getting the ball. I've showed you this. I've went through this. I've looked at numbers. We looked at stats. We went all the way down the doctor today. Anybody who has watched this today and still think that Gyökeres is a trash player after I went through all this stuff with y'all today, you just want to form your own opinion about the guy. The bottom line here is this manager's philosophy, the limitations of some of these players that's in this team, and then when you got folks like this stand right here that's painting the narrative, it creates a chaos. This is why I said it's going to be all hell break loose. Isle of Patmos says the seals will be opened up. There will be doom and gloom, cats and dogs living together when Kai Havertz gets back into this team. There will be a bust-up this year. There's going to be a bust-up, a major bust-up.
At Arsenal, he was signed to be a player that would operate in multiple roles, and gradually it was seen that he was better off playing further forward, and he's been our best centre-forward option over the last however many seasons as well. So, I just think that there's a concern for me that the Gyökeres debate, if that's even a thing right now, is starting to spiral too early and out of control a little bit. And it was quite, it was. I was easily irritated last night because of just the manner, I think, of how this conversation is starting to go.
You see that attitude? You see that energy now? You see the energy that he's talking. Oh, I think it's out of control. I think it's this. But brother, you were leading the spear charge. You were on the horse going forward. You were Braveheart, man. You was going forward. You had your sword in the air. You were going. Now all of a sudden, because you're supposed to put heat on your ass, now you're talking about, oh, nah, it's out of control. No, anytime Tom Cannon is held to any accountability, he backpedals. He moonwalks. He's Michael Jackson it all the way across the stage from the right to the left. Because if you go check that comment section and if you go check his last video, people will say, hey, brother, this is out of control here. Wait a minute. Whoa, wait. Because as soon as they bring that Kai Havertz, when they drop Kai Havertz in there, it tells you right there, the argument is dead in bonk. Because Kai Havertz, when he came in, y'all said 50 games. So by that narrative, we're going to give a new player that's coming into this league, into a team, into a crazy-ass system. He gets 50 games too. He gets the same 50. And if we sign, Matt Wakey gets 50 games. Anybody knew that sign on this manager gets 50 games. Zubamendi, 50 games. Give it to him. Because Kai Havertz got it. What's good for D is good for me. This is unbelievable.
where, as I say, battle lines are being drawn. And I don't think battle lines need to be drawn at this stage. I just think the player needs to be allowed to play out the season, and we can kind of have a more scathing.
Shane, I hope you clip this up, because he just what he just said now. Let's just let him play out. Let's just let him play out.
Critical conversation, and I said it to Harry, on screen. I think that maybe doing dedicated shows analyzing the player, his shortcomings or whatever at this early stage. Maybe is that going too far at this stage? Perhaps. Because then you've got to start keeping the energy the same. And to be fair to Harry, I think he's doing that with Ezra and others today as well. So
all this was right here. Let me cut this shit off. All that is just the advertisement for you to go watch them two tell lies. That's all that is. Bottom line, point blank. Let's move on from that. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes here. Let me close this screen out. We're through with all that. Let's go over here. It's time to get down to freaking business. It's really time to get down to business. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Make sure I got it on mute. These are opportunities here where our striker this year have been in situations to where we can get him involved. They'll tell you certain things. You hear these narratives about he's out of shape. He doesn't run. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. His tech is bad. All this stuff. 97 goals in 102 games. Watch this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this right here. Slowed it down for you. Look at this. Look at this striker. You see this? The striker's trying to figure out what the hell do I need to do here. Look at this right here. I like Matt Wakey. Matt Wakey's all right. But this is what you call youthful inexperience. Look at this right here. Watch this. He's got the ball. Look at this. Make the move, son. Pass the ball. You even got a man running in. Look at this. What do we do? What do we do? Another opportunity. This is what we do. We do this on a daily basis. Right there. On a daily basis, chat. Soccer does the same thing. In, sky the ball. Did y'all see the striker over there? Let's go back over there. Look at this. Look at the striker. Keep your eyes fixed on the striker. Watch him. Watch him. He pulls back. Look at that. Look at that. Look how he's looking. Y'all see it? Did y'all can't tell me y'all don't see that. Did y'all see the striker? Did y'all see his face? Did y'all see the face? You can tell Jokic is a team player because he's wearing a smile. He's definitely wearing a smile. Did y'all see this? Look at this. Again. Look. Look at your striker. Let's go to clip 2. Look at this right here. Look at your striker. Watch our striker. Watch this. No tech. Oh, no tech. They said no tech. He can't do anything. Can't do anything. He's useless. I've heard that one too. He's useless on the ball. Can't control the ball. What did we just see there, ladies and gentlemen? What did we see right here? What's this right here? Controls the ball. Hold up play. Oh, what's that? Oh, okay. One more time. For the cheap sheets. What do we see right there? What do we see right there? What do we see? Look at this right here. Look at Odegaard right here. Look where he passes the ball at. Look where Odegaard passes the ball. Where it takes him to. I can't get to that. Now he's got to go way out there to create that. And that's what we're doing. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see Odegaard? Let's see that again. Look at this right here. Look at Odegaard. Look at that pass. some of these players don't even know how to play with good players in the team. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna be by this blunt, as I can tell y'all. Odegaard, we know he can't play with good players in the team because he played for Real Madrid. We saw what was over there. He can play with that. So I mean, I don't know why we was foolish enough to think that something would change with him. He never goes. Right here in the chat here, this brother right here, spot on. Right as I was thinking it, he never goes for the pass. He goes for the easy pass instead of the pass that would go a little harder. Watch this now. Watch this. Oh, that's the one that we just showed. That's the layoff. Hold on. Let me go back to the other one. I'll take that one off. I want to go back to the other one. Go back to 4. That's the one I want right here. Watch this. Watch this here. Look at the striker. Look at Odegaard. The striker was already making the move. Watch this now. Watch this. Look at it. Look at it. That right there. He's ready. Look at that. What does he do? Odegaard. Shot the guard. Look at this. Low percentage shot for Odegaard. Pillar foot. Shout out to Curtis. Pillar foot. Options all over the place. What did you do? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Wait a minute. That's more. Look at this right here. Look at that. Look at Saka. I told you I got mine. You get yours. Look at Saka. He scores this, but look. He damn sure better be glad he scored that. Because the look as Gyökeres stood there, look at that. Look at the look on Gyökeres' face. He's my damn sure better score that. Why? Look at this right here. Look at this right here. And y'all tell me. It's not about service. Out of service. Out of service. He's out of service. And y'all are you got Thomas the Tank Engine sitting there talking about that argument is dead. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right here. Right there. Right there. Ryan, right on the money, brother. Holland, if that ball doesn't go to him, Holland is going up somebody's head, going upside somebody's head. Look at this. You can even see you can almost see the dejection. Let me see if I can do this right quick. Yeah, it won't let me zoom all the way in. I want y'all to watch the dejection. Watch the dejection on Victor. Watch this. I'm gonna take it back a few frames. I just want y'all to watch this now. Watch the dejection on this brother. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? When everybody go back and watch Spoiling Lisbon clips, when y'all get through with this, go back and watch Spoiling Lisbon clips and watch how he's getting the ball. He's either A, making it happen himself, or B, when he's in the box, they're just putting it to him. Look at this. And not only that, but see, that even gets lost right there. He wasn't even sure if the ball went in. So guess what he did? He was the only person on the team that went to make sure that if the ball didn't go in, to make sure to have opportunity. Let's go to the next clip. This is from this weekend. Look at this. This is old Thomas. He's talking about this right here. Look at that. Or he's got to put that in. Look what I want y'all to see. Look at what Gyökeres is doing. Look how he's looking to receive the ball there. Look at how he's receiving the ball. Look at how he's looking to receive the ball. Just tell you the difference of a strike. Look at this. Watch this now. Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to pause it. Look, can y'all see that right there? What is he doing? What is Gyökeres doing there? He's putting his foot out for what? A tapping. Y'all see that right there, right? I hate old boy got covered his foot, but y'all see that? What he's looking for? This striker is looking for a basic tap in. What does he do? Go for a shot. And you got Thomas talking about he should have put that chance away. Well, how when he's going for a shot? Look at that. That's a shot. There's no cross involved there. But Gyökeres thinks there's a cross there. Look, just watch him. Watch him again. Look at Gyökeres. Keep your eye right here. Look at that. He's putting his foot out. He's extending the foot to tap in. Because that's what it should have been. Goalkeeper turns around because he thought it was a tap in. He thought it was done. Northside, much love, brother. Much love, man. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well there, my friend. Let me see if I got my other clip in here. So I put the other one in here. It's a 6. Let me see if I got the other one here. Let me see if my other clip on it. Did I put it in here? Right here. Let me add this to the playlist. Y'all bear with me here. Let me put this one in.
Odegaard passed the ball.
Right there. Look at this. Straight down the pipe. Right there. That's all you got to do.
Nice. Odegaard passed the ball.
Look at this. Still got a chance. Still, he's got it. The window's gotten tighter, but there's still a chance there.
Pass the ball.
Did y'all catch that? See, I didn't catch that the first time I saw this. Did y'all see Odegaard? Let me stop right here. Let me pull out right quick. Let me pull out right quick. Chat. Did y'all see that? No, this is why I like breaking down film. Did you all see what just happened here? If you want to see the IQ of this brother, you want to see the IQ of this brother here on the ball, you want to see the IQ of Odegaard. Y'all want to see it? I'm going to show it to y'all. Take your eyes off of Gyökeres. Take your eyes off of the good brother right here. I want you to watch this. Watch what Odegaard does. This is going to knock your socks off. I caught it just like that. Watch this. Y'all are really going to be mad. Watch this. Let me take this down right quick. Let me take Brother Ryan down right quick. Watch this.
Pass the ball.
Did you catch that right there? Did you catch that?
Ball.
He points and tells Gyökeres to go overlap. Did you see that? Gyökeres is made to run. He's telling him to go the other way.
Nice.
Watch that arm right there. Just stay on Odegaard and watch right here.
The ball. Odegaard and big now. Pass the ball. Just pass.
He does it. Watch this. He does it.
Ball.
Still doesn't get the damn ball.
Odegaard pass the ball.
Now he's telling whoever was out there on the wing on that, he's telling them, because look, he's telling them to go.
Odegaard pass the ball. Odegaard.
See, that's who he wanted to pass to all along. Go back frame by frame.
The ball. Odegaard, I beg now. Pass the ball. Just pass.
Look at this right here.
Pass the ball, Odegaard.
He's left-footed. Slide him in. He's left-footed. The Glock is left-footed. Even the keeper knows if he gets this ball, I'm a dead man. Look.
Pass the ball.
What does he do? Right here, he tells the whoever on the wing, the ball's coming to you.
Pass the ball. Odegaard. Pass the ball. How on earth is my striker going to reach 50 goals and assists, 50 goal contributions, when my captain cannot play a simple pass like this?
Rashid, if you're still in the chat, Max Diamond makes that pass. Epereche Eze makes that pass. Leandro Trossard makes that pass. And maybe on the odd occasion, Matt Wakey might make that pass. Declan might make that pass. Tom Cannon sat there this morning. We went over it, not going back through it again, not going through the video again, but y'all saw it. He said the service argument is dead when it comes to Gyökeres. I, in fact, say there is no service. He's out of service. This is why when I sit on shows, and I want y'all to understand when I say people go, well, what's wrong with Odegaard? He's in midseason form. He's in midseason form. I will bring this back. When we look at Odegaard, and you look at this kind of play right here, you wonder how. And out of all these things, most of them probably went to soccer anyway. One more time. One more time for my peeps. One more time. This is why I do what I do. Right there. Right there. That's Odegaard. To facilitate that right there. I mean, you just right there. It's plain as day to see. Plain as day to see. The brother is wide open. The brother's wide open.
This is basic 1+1. How can he reach 50 goal contributions?
Right here. Cesc Fabregas. That's food and drink for Cesc Fabregas. That's food and drink for Alexander Kleb. That's food and drink for Dennis Bergkamp. That's food and drink for even Patty Vieira. That's food and drink for any player with high IQ. Could you imagine Ronaldinho in a situation like this? Could you imagine if Ronaldinho? Could you imagine if Ronaldinho was in this situation? Kaká in this kind of situation right here? Zidane, come on, man. Is Zidane in a situation that much space between the striker and the and you know what the most damning part about this? Now that I froze this frame, let me get a piece of just simple water right quick on this. Look at the defender. The defender's inside out. He's got to turn all the way around. Look. Look. Look.
This is basic 1+1.
Look at the defender. He's off balance, turned around and everything. Look.
How can you read 50 goal contributions?
Look. Anybody that's played defense knows that's the worst situation to find yourself in. Is you got to literally turn all the way around. You got to turn all the way around. Which means he's probably not going to catch him. We have too many players in this team that want, number one, they broke like Havertz broken when we bought him. Number two, Saka has been broken under this manager. Number three, Odegaard was broken when we bought him. And then number four, Martinelli's been broken under this manager. And then he's in the process of breaking Eze right now. He's in the process of breaking a player that we've seen lift 2 trophies within 6 months. You're breaking him to making him look like he's average. DJB told the gal many moons ago, he said, I'm afraid that these players coming in are going to be broken under this manager. And this is why when we went to go all the way back to the very early part of the show this morning, when I said that if you don't think Andrea Berta is looking at this, then you crazy. Because there's no way he buys a striker that scores 97 goals in 102 games. Look at this. Look at the striking history at Athletic. If you don't believe me, go look at the striker history at Athletic. He normally buys a striker who he knows can score. Number two, he brings in a midfielder that he knows that normally can play midfield without a problem. We go look at the history, and then you look at this year. He gives all of that to the manager. He even gives him a younger winger to back up Saka to take some pressure off of Saka. What does he do? Nothing. You don't think that brother's watching that? You don't think the upper level management is looking at that? $1 billion spent. They've come out and said trophies this year. You don't think they're watching that? And this manager's so damn arrogant. He says, I'm going to do what I want to do. There's going to be a bust up this year. This right here is going to cost us because they're not getting the striker involved here. This brother, he doesn't have it in his tool set. That's another thing. The limitations. The limitations on some of these players are killing us. I told you all this 2 years ago. I said we've got too many players that were grateful when we were in the Europa League and we were trying to get back to the Champions League. But now that we're in the Champions League, we need a different level of player. And our fan base likes to hold on to players, but it's too long. No, these players need to be moved on as soon as possible. Once we get through it this season, we see how it play out. I still say we still need to move some of these players along. Because when you're in situations like this, if you got a top flight striker and this striker is not getting the opportunities, when you're looking at this right here in front of y'all on this screen, this right here is absolutely crazy. Because as his brother stated, this is basic football here. Basic. Absolutely basic. I mean, it don't get any plainer than this. He's got his back turned all the way around. And he will still won't pass the ball. That was the whole passage of play.
A nice move. Nice move.
Right here. Turn and go.
Odegaard passed the ball.
Right there. Ball should be gone. Right there. That's the first time.
Nice.
Look.
Odegaard.
Second time. Right there. Second time.
Ball. Odegaard are big.
Look. He's watching him. He's not paying attention to him. Watch. Watch again.
Pass the ball. Just
look.
Pass.
Look.
Pass the ball.
Three chances.
Pass the ball.
4 chances.
Odegaard.
4 chances there. 1, 2, 3, 4. We just went through it right here for y'all to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. He never passed in the ball. $1.7 billion spent on this team. Billion. 1.2, whatever it is, billion. You not missiles. I mean, condos, teams. Nothing there, y'all. And then y'all got people talking about, no service. It make you wonder, man. Make you wonder some inside sports betting going on. I mean, this is crazy stuff here that we've seen this morning. And I've told y'all, we went through it in closing here. We went through it. And I've showed y'all. When you go to this team and you see the way we act, you see the way it's looking. And you see the statistics. And then you see who's doing all the grunt work. And y'all wonder why Declan Rice is out of gas. He's doing it all. Mikel Marino. He's got to do double duty. Trossard, when he's in. Calafiore is bombing forward. Timber, he's bombing forward. We saw it on the graphic. With all the defenses going forward. Gyökeres is in back. And then you roll over to page 1. This is what you see. That's what you see. And then when they argue, well, he's not scoring any goals. He's not doing anything. Even the people that's keeping the ball from him, not doing much of nothing. Like I said, these two are actually overachieved based off of the situation that they've been dropped in. So in closing, this is why I say, when you hear people say, when they come to you and they say, well, you got the striker, he's not really doing anything. He's a flop. He hadn't done this. He came in. He hadn't done much. You have to go back and look. Well, why? Let's address the issue. Let's look into it. Let's find out why. Let's look. Let's find out why. And when you find out why, it shocks you. You go, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't know. Odegaard only had 1 goal. This is why I said, when people, these Cantons and these people, they're out there, they talking all that stuff. You have to be careful. Because these brothers out there painting the company narrative. The fact of the matter is that this player is playing with players that are out of order, out of service. The manager's plan is out of service. It is not working. You've got a lot of issues going on all at one time. And when you finally break it down to the T and you see it for what it is, you realize that the striker was damned. Him and Eze both were damned before they even got started. And like I told y'all before this, if you don't think Bertha's sitting back watching this, because if this manager's who everybody say he is, they say this manager is supposed to be the holy of holies. That's what they say. Alpha and Omega, as Kenny say. Then he should be able to adjust and bring these two in and get them to playing optimal to the optimal level. Well, we know that's not true because we just went through soccer's career and it's going down every year up on this match. We went through Martinelli, non-starter this year. Non-starter. Trossard comes in, consistent, gets him out. Eze comes in, gets him out. Odegaard leaves him in. Havertz is on his way back. You know what's coming. Based off of what we looked at this morning, you all know what's coming this season. Get your reservations ready. Get your suitcases. Get your shoes. Get the best shirt you can find. Because it's time to check into the Heartbreak Hotel. You know what's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, hope that you enjoyed the stream this morning. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm not feeling the best today. If you have not, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. We're going to we're going to redirect to the good brother, BBK. I want you all to go in and I want you to spam his chat with out of service. Out of service. Matty Raid. There we go. It should be in the chat there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you again. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to get myself back up to speed. Hopefully this weekend I may do a call-in show before I go out for the holidays, because I'm going to take me some time away from this foolishness. I will be watching, but I'm going to take some time away from some of this foolishness. And that's it, man. That's it, man. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt the Southern Gooner. Hope that you enjoyed today's stream, and we'll be back soon. Much love. Peace out.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Southern Gooner here on YouTube.